Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's episode of A More Excellent You. A very special welcome to you if you're new here. Kindly subscribe and click that notification button so you can continue to learn with us on becoming a more excellent you. Today, our focus will be on talking about when growth competes with too much. This can be a very confusing place to be because you're trying, you're busy, you're learning, you're applying as much as you can. So why does growth still feel so slow? Sometimes it's not a lack of effort. It's not a lack of ability. Sometimes it's overload. This is an example of what could happen in an overcrowded life, where growth is not blocked by failure, but by too much competing for space. Let's examine what is really happening in an overcrowded life. When growth stalls at this stage, it's easy to assume the problem is effort, but effort is not always the issue. The real problem could be competition. New skills need attention to develop. New habits need protection to survive. New ways of thinking need space to take root. So when knowledge enters a life that is already full schedules, full routines, full mental patterns, full priorities that were set long before this new growth arrived. And when everything stays as it is, the newest thing is always the most fragile. And over time, it gets crowded out. The issue is not that nothing was planted. It is that something was planted without making room for its growth. Gradually, the growth fades quietly. So let's identify what these competitors or growth blockers can look like. Most growth blockers don't look harmful. That's why they are hard to recognize. Pride sounds reasonable when it says, I already understand this. Tradition feels safe when it says, this is how we've always done it. Past success feels logical when it says, what has worked before should still work now, right? And then other blockers like constant stimulation, unexamined habits, busy routines that never pause long enough to adapt. If none of these things are examined and removed, that new knowledge will never get a chance to grow. Let's take an example. Say you decide you want to start reading or studying for 20 minutes every evening. You buy the books you need. You save the videos you want to study with. You genuinely want to grow. But previously, every evening, after a long day, what you do is you sit down for a few minutes on your phone, and you go through social media, you watch some short videos, and then scrolling. Now, this new habit is competing with an existing habit and a possibly stronger habit. Here's the key insight. The problem is not that you don't have time to read. The problem is that your attention is already booked. You didn't fail to add a new habit. You failed to remove an old one that occupies the same space. So making room for growth doesn't start with motivation and wanting to do this and do that. It starts with examination and elimination. Let's take another example. You want to become more self-aware, more emotionally grounded. You want to become more reflective. But your life is always noisy. While driving, you're listening to a podcast. While eating, you're watching a video. While working, you're playing music. And silence even feels uncomfortable to you. But reflection needs quiet. So what do? You start by examination and elimination. You can say, I'll have one commute without an audio. Or I'll have a meal without a screen. Or I'll have a moment in a day where nothing fills the space. Gradually and consistently, the new habit has room to grow. You see, in an overcrowded life, more effort won't help. More information won't help. What is needed is a different question. What in my life is competing with what I'm trying to grow? Because growth is not just about adding more and more and more. It's about removing what no longer serves the direction you're going. Progress requires effort, yes, but it also requires intention. So it's not just about asking, what should I add? What more should I add? It's about asking, what needs to go? Because growth cannot thrive in crowded spaces. So ask that question, what needs to go for the growth that I'm trying to achieve? Has this video helped you? Don't forget to like, don't forget to share with others who need this information. Till next time, remain blessed.